Greetings to all, dear children. In this video, I will continue with Civics, chapter Equality. Topics that will be covered are issues of equality in democracy, challenges of democracy, Dawa Matsa Sangh, and Indian Constitution as a living document. First topic is issues of inequalities in other democracy. In many democratic countries around the world, the issue of equality continues to be the key issue around which communities struggle. For example, African Americans were treated unequally in the United States of America. African Americans were treated extremely unequally in the United States and denied equality through law. Whenever traveling by bus, they either had to sit at the back of the bus or get up from their seats whenever a white person wished to sit. Civil rights movement in America started in late 1950s to push for equal right for African Americans and to end racial discrimination. Rosa Parks was an African American woman. Tired from a long day at work, she refused to give up her seat on a bus to a white man on 1st December 1955. Her refusal that day started a huge agitation against the unequal ways in which African Americans were treated, and which came to be known as the Civil Rights Movement. The Civil Rights Act came into being in 1964 that prohibited the discrimination on the basis of race, religion, or national origin. It also stated that all schools would be open to African American children. Next topic is challenge of democracy. Even though democracy has been accepted as the best form of government in the modern world, yet it has its own challenges. No country can be described as being completely democratic. There are always communities and individuals trying to expand the idea of democracy and push for a greater recognition of equality on existing as well as new issues. Central to this is the struggle for the recognition of all persons as equal and for their dignity to be maintained. Throughout the world, in every community, village, city, and town, some people are respected because of their fight for equality. These people may have stood up against an act of discrimination that they faced or which they witnessed. In India, there are several struggles in which people have come together to fight for issues that they believe are important. Dawa Matsa Sangh in Madhya Pradesh is another example of people coming together to fight for an issue. The Tawa Dam began to be built in 1958 and was completed in 1978. It submerged large area of forest and agricultural land. The forest dwellers were left with nothing. Some of the displaced people settled around the reservoir and found a livelihood in fishing. In 1994, the government gave the right for fishing in the Tawa Reservoir to private contractors. These contractors drove the local people away and got cheap labor from outside. The contractors began to threaten the villagers who did not want to leave. The villagers stood united and decided that it was a time to set up an organization and to do something to protect their rights. Thus, they formed the Tava Matsya Sangh, which organized rallies and protests demanding their rights to continue fishing for their livelihood. In response to their protests, the government created a committee to assess the issue. In 1996, the Madhya Pradesh government decided to give to the people displaced by the Tava Dam the fishing rights for the reservoirs. Next topic is the Indian Constitution as a living document. The Indian Constitution is a living document as it has served as the basis on which many people and communities in India have demanded equality and launched struggles to achieve it.